Every day you have two choices. Let circumstances control you, or train your mind to control them. Weak thinking leads to a weak life, but here's the good news. You can train your mind like you train your body. With the right discipline, you can build unshakable mental strength. And once you do, no setback, no failure, no challenge will have the power to break you. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy. Weak minds collapse under pressure, but strong minds rise above it. Life will test you, challenge you, and try to break you, but the real question is, will you let it? Or will you train your mind to overcome anything? Because those who master their mind master their destiny. And today, you make that decision. Every challenge you face is a battle between two voices in your mind. The voice of weakness and the voice of strength. One tells you to quit, to complain, to make excuses. The other pushes you to rise, to fight, to grow. The question is, which voice will you listen to? Because the one you feed will shape your future. Train your mind and nothing will break you. The way you start your day determines how the rest of it unfolds. Most people wake up and immediately flood their minds with distractions, checking their phones, scrolling through negativity, or dwelling on yesterday's problems. But if you want to build unshakable mental strength, you must take control of your first thoughts. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in the morning will grow throughout the day. So what are you planting? Doubt, fear, and hesitation? Or confidence, discipline, and action? Before you do anything, before the noise of the world reaches you, spend the first moments of your day conditioning your mind for success. Say this with conviction. Today, I control my thoughts, my actions, and my results. These aren't just words. They are instructions to your subconscious. When you declare control over your thoughts, you stop allowing circumstances to dictate your emotions. When you take charge of your actions, you move with purpose instead of reacting aimlessly. And when you claim responsibility for your results, you shift from blaming to building. Successful people don't leave their mental state to chance. They train it. They prepare it. Just like an athlete warms up before a competition, you must warm up your mind before engaging with the world. If you step onto the field of life unprepared, distractions will overwhelm you, negativity will drain you, and excuses will hold you back. But if you start strong, you create momentum that carries you through the toughest challenges. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is feeding your mind before anything else. Read something that inspires you. Listen to wisdom that strengthens you. Write down a goal that excites you. These simple actions shift your focus from what's wrong to what's possible. I once knew a man who started every morning writing down the life he wanted to create. He wrote as if it had already happened. His wealth, his health, his relationships. At first, it felt strange. But after weeks of repetition, his mind began to believe it. His actions aligned with his vision, and within years, his life completely transformed. That's the power of training your mind. But here's the key: consistency. Doing it once won't change much. Doing it for a week will make you feel good, but doing it every single day for months and years will rewire your mind for success. Most people try something for a few days and then go back to old habits. Don't be most people. Commit to this practice. The first 10 minutes of your day are yours. Guard them, use them wisely, and make them count. Your mind will believe whatever you tell it, so tell it the right things. Say it again. Today, I control my thoughts, my actions, and my results. Say it until you feel it. Say it until you live it. Because the way you start your day is the way you build your future. Most people don't realize it, but their biggest enemy isn't out there in the world. It's in their own mind. Every day, without even noticing, they talk themselves out of success. I can't do this. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? These thoughts act like invisible chains, holding them back from the life they could have. But here's the truth. Your thoughts are not facts. They are habits. And just like any habit, they can be changed. The moment a negative thought enters your mind, You have a choice: accept it and let it weaken you, or challenge it and turn it into strength. Every time you hear yourself say, "I can't," stop. Ask yourself, is that really true? Instead of saying, "I don't know how," say, "How can I learn?" Instead of "This is too hard," say, "What's the first step?" This simple shift in language forces your brain to look for solutions instead of excuses. And the mind trained to seek solutions will always find a way. I remember a man who once told me he could never speak in public. Just the thought of it made his hands sweat. "I'm just not good at it," he said. But I asked him, "Have you ever practiced? Have you ever studied great speakers? Have you ever taken even one small step to improve?" He hadn't. His belief wasn't based on fact, it was based on fear. So I gave him a challenge. For 30 days, replaced "I can't" with "I'm getting better." Every day, he would say, "I'm improving, I'm learning, I'm building confidence." And with each repetition, something changed. He started studying speakers. He started practicing in front of a mirror, and after a few months, he gave his first speech. Was he perfect? No, but he was far better than before. Why? Because he stopped feeding his doubts and started feeding his strength. This is how mental training works. Negative thoughts will come. That's human nature. But what you do with them is what matters. Do you let them control you, or do you take control? The strongest minds are not those who never have doubts, but those who refuse to let doubts win. So from this day forward, make a decision. Challenge every limiting belief. Don't just accept a negative thought. Question it, reframe it, and replace it with strength. When your mind tells you this is impossible, respond with everything is possible. When you feel like saying, "I'm not ready," say instead, "I will prepare until I am." Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. They seek the easiest path, the safest route, the least resistance. But what they don't realize is that avoiding discomfort weakens the mind. It makes you fragile. The moment life throws a challenge your way, you crumble. You say, "I can't handle this," because you've never trained yourself to handle pressure. Strength, real, unshakable mental strength, comes from resistance. Just like a muscle only grows when you push it beyond its current capacity, your mind only grows when you challenge it. Every time you force yourself to do something difficult, you are conditioning your mind to handle more. And the person who has trained their mind to handle more will always rise above the person who hasn't. I remember a young man who wanted to start a business, but he was afraid of rejection. He didn't want to hear no. He didn't want to fail, so he did nothing. He sat on his idea for years, waiting for the fear to go away. But fear never disappears on its own. You have to train yourself to move through it. So I gave him a simple challenge. Every day for 30 days, he had to put himself in a situation where he could be rejected. Ask for a discount at a store, make a cold call, try to sell something to a stranger. At first, he hated it. His hands would shake, his heart would race. But by the end of 30 days, something changed. He no longer feared rejection. He expected it, and he learned how to handle it. Soon, he was pitching his business with confidence. What changed? He trained his mind through controlled discomfort. If you want to build mental strength, you must seek out discomfort. Wake up earlier than you want to. Take on a task you don't feel ready for. Speak up when you'd rather stay silent. Push through fatigue when your mind says, "Take it easy." These small acts of discomfort build resilience, and resilience is what separates the strong from the weak. There was a time when I struggled with discipline. I wanted success, but I didn't want to do the hard things required to get there. So I started training myself in the smallest ways. Waking up earlier than I wanted, reading when I felt like watching TV, making that difficult phone call instead of putting it off. These little disciplines created momentum. And momentum builds confidence. Most people let their emotions run their lives. They wake up feeling tired, so they don't take action. They get frustrated, so they quit. They feel fear, so they never take the first step. But emotions were never meant to be the master, they were meant to be the servant. And if you don't train them, they will control you. Think about it. How many people make decisions based on how they feel in the moment? They get angry and say something they regret. They feel discouraged and give up on a goal they once cared about. They feel lazy and waste an entire day. But what if, instead, you trained yourself to pause, to take control, rather than letting emotions dictate your actions? That's where real power lies. I once knew a man who lost everything because he let his emotions control him. He was in business, and one day a deal went south. Instead of stepping back and thinking through the situation, he reacted out of frustration. He sent angry messages, burned bridges, and quit the entire project. A few weeks later, the same deal could have been salvaged, but it was too late. His emotions had already cost him everything. If he had just disciplined himself to pause, to take a breath, to separate emotion from action, his entire outcome would have been different. Emotions are powerful, but only when controlled. A disciplined mind knows that emotions are temporary, but actions have lasting consequences. When you feel anger rise, train yourself to stop and ask, is this response helping me or hurting me? When fear creeps in, say, fear is just an emotion, but my decisions are based on logic. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself, emotions change, but my goals remain the same. One of the greatest tests of mental strength is how well you handle frustration. Success is never smooth. Life will test you. Things will go wrong, people will disappoint you, and obstacles will appear. But how you react in those moments determines everything. Weak minds react. Strong minds respond. I used to struggle with this myself. If things didn't go my way, I'd get discouraged. I'd feel unmotivated. But then I learned something. Discipline is greater than motivation. If you only act when you feel like it, you will never achieve anything great. The key is to train yourself to act based on your commitments, not your emotions. So make a decision today. Train your emotions like you would train your body. Just as a strong body requires daily discipline, so does a strong mind. Practice self-control in the little things. When frustration rises, when fear appears, when things don't go as planned. Because the person who can master their emotions can master their life. And the person who masters their life can achieve anything. Tough times don't create weakness, they reveal it. When life puts pressure on you, it doesn't break you. It shows you where you need to get stronger. And if you see every challenge as training, as preparation, you will develop the kind of mental strength that nothing can shake. Most people look at adversity and say, why is this happening to me? But successful people ask a different question. What can I learn from this? They understand that every setback carries a lesson, every struggle builds resilience, and every hardship is an opportunity to grow. I remember a man who built a thriving business. He worked for years, put in the effort, made sacrifices. Then one day the economy crashed and he lost everything. Most people would have quit. Most people would have said it's over. But he didn't. He saw it as training. He told himself, if I built it once, I can build it again, but this time stronger. And that's exactly what he did. Within a few years, he had rebuilt an even bigger, more successful business. Why? Because the challenge didn't destroy him, it revealed his true strength. That's how you have to approach every challenge in life. When things get difficult, you have two choices. Let the difficulty defeat you, or use it as fuel to become stronger. If you treat every challenge as training, you will grow. If you treat every problem as a stepping stone, you will move forward. And let's be clear, everyone faces tough times. There's no escaping it. The difference is in how you respond. Some people break under pressure. Others become unshakable. The same fire that melts one person hardens another. The same storm that knocks one person down lifts another up. But to develop that kind of strength, you must train yourself to think differently. When things go wrong, don't complain. Analyze. When a plan fails, don't quit. Adjust. When life pushes you down, don't stay down. Get back up. Because every time you push through, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. There was a young man who wanted to succeed, but life kept hitting him with obstacles. Rejection, failure, loss. He faced it all. But he decided that every time he got knocked down, he would stand back up just one more time. That was his rule. No matter how bad it got, he would get up one more time than he was knocked down. And that's how he won. Not by avoiding hardship, but by refusing to let hardship stop him. That's the mindset of the successful. That's the mindset of those who build wealth, achieve success, and create a life of freedom. They don't avoid challenges, they embrace them. Because they understand one thing: tough times are not there to break you, they are there to reveal the strength you didn't even know you had. Excuses are the greatest thieves of success. Every time you make an excuse, you give away a piece of your power. You tell yourself that something outside of you is in control. Your past, your circumstances, the economy, other people. But the truth is, the moment you take full ownership of your mindset, you take full ownership of your life. Most people don't realize how often they use excuses. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I wasn't given the right opportunities. These words sound harmless, but every time you say them, you reinforce a belief that you are powerless. And a powerless mind cannot create a powerful life. I once knew a man who wanted to start a business, but he kept saying, I don't have the money. For years, he stayed stuck in that excuse. Then one day he changed the question. Instead of saying, I can't start because I have no money, he asked, how can I start with what I have? That single shift in thinking changed everything. He found ways to start small, to learn, to build. And within a few years, he had created more success than he ever thought possible. That's how powerful a shift in mindset can be. When you eliminate excuses, you start seeing opportunities. When you stop blaming and start asking, how can I? Your mind opens up to solutions you never saw before. And here's something to remember. Successful people face the same obstacles as everyone else. They have problems, they have setbacks, they have disadvantages. The difference? They refuse to make excuses. They don't focus on what they don't have, they focus on what they can do with what they do have. So here's the challenge. Catch yourself every time you make an excuse. Stop and replace it. Instead of saying, I don't have time, say, how can I make time? Instead of saying, I don't know how, say, how can I learn? This small shift will do more for your success than almost anything else. Because the day you stop making excuses is the day you take full control of your life. And when you take control of your life, success is no longer a matter of luck. It becomes a matter of time. Your environment is either lifting you up or pulling you down. There is no in between. If you surround yourself with people who complain, blame, and make excuses, it won't be long before you start thinking the same way. But if you surround yourself with strong, disciplined, and forward-thinking individuals, you will absorb their mindset, their habits, and their drive for success. I once asked a young man about his goals. He had big dreams, but no progress. I asked him, who are you spending your time with? He thought about it and realized his closest friends were negative, always talking about why things wouldn't work, why success was out of reach. I told him, if you stay in that environment, your mind will never grow strong enough to overcome obstacles. See, mental toughness isn't just about what you think, it's about what you feed your mind daily. The books you read, the conversations you engage in, the mentors you learn from, all of it shapes the way you see the world. If you're surrounded by people who encourage weakness, your mind will default to weakness. But if you are surrounded by strength, your mind will grow stronger. There was a man who worked hard, but never seemed to break through. Then one day, he made a change. He stopped spending time with those who kept him stuck and started seeking out those who had already succeeded. He listened to their words, studied their habits, and adopted their mindset. Within a year, his life looked completely different. Why? Because he changed his environment. This principle applies to everything. If you want to think bigger, be around people who think bigger. If you want to be disciplined, be around disciplined people. If you want to be wealthy, spend time learning from those who have built wealth. It's not about cutting people off, it's about choosing who influences your mind. One of the most powerful things you can do is ask yourself, Who am I allowing to shape my thinking? If the answer isn't helping you grow, it's time to make a change. You don't have to be in the perfect environment to start. You just have to start making small adjustments. Listen to audio programs that feed your mind with strength. Read books that challenge your thinking. Seek out people who have what you want and learn from them. Because the truth is, success is not just about effort, it's about alignment. If you put yourself in an environment that demands excellence, your mind will rise to the occasion. But if you stay in an environment that accepts mediocrity, you will never develop the mental strength to overcome anything. Success is not about luck. It's not about talent. It's about training your mind to think like a winner. Because the truth is, winners and losers face the same struggles, the same setbacks, the same obstacles. The difference? Winners have trained their minds to push through, while losers have trained their minds to quit. Every successful person you admire had moments where they could have given up. But instead of saying, this is too hard, they said, how can I make this work? That's the mindset of a winner. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about refusing to stay down when failure happens. There was a man who started a business, but it failed. He tried again, failed again. Most people would have quit, but he trained his mind differently. He told himself, every failure is a lesson. I'm getting better. I will persist until I succeed. And after multiple failures, he built a business that made him wealthy. That's how winners think. They don't dwell on problems, they focus on solutions. They don't waste time complaining, they take action. And they don't let setbacks define them, they use setbacks to refine them. Most people have trained their minds the wrong way. They've repeated thoughts of doubt, fear, and failure so often that it has become automatic. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the resources. I don't know the right people. These thoughts keep them stuck. But winners, they train their minds with a different script. I will figure this out. I will find a way. I have everything it takes to succeed. They don't just say these things once, they repeat them daily until they become reality. A man once told me, I'll believe I'm a winner when I succeed. I told him, you got it backward. You don't succeed first and then believe. You believe first and then you succeed. Your mind leads and your results follow. If you want to win, start training your mind today. Every morning say, I am a winner. I persist until I succeed. When challenges come, remind yourself, this is just part of the process. I can handle this. When doubt creeps in, say, I am strong. I am capable. I will not quit. Because at the end of the day, it's not the strongest who win. It's not the smartest. It's the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who push through. The ones who have trained their minds so well that no setback, no failure, no challenge can shake them. The way you end your day is just as important as how you start it. If you go to bed with thoughts of frustration, regret, or failure, your mind will carry that energy into tomorrow. But if you take time to review, reflect, and reset, you condition your mind for growth. And success is nothing more than the result of a well-conditioned mind. Winners don't just let their days pass by, they study them. They look back and ask, what did I learn today? Because every day teaches something, but only those who reflect will capture the lesson. Maybe you handled a difficult situation well. Acknowledge that. Maybe you let emotions get the best of you. Recognize it and commit to improving. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens through awareness and intention. A businessman once told me he was stuck. Every day felt the same. No progress, no growth. I asked him at the end of the day, do you ever sit down and reflect? He said no. That was the problem. He was living, but he wasn't learning. I told him to start writing down 3 things every night. 1 success, 1 lesson, and 1 improvement for tomorrow. Within a month, he was moving forward again. That's how mental conditioning works. Just like an athlete reviews their performance to improve, you must review your day to train your mind. And here's the key. Don't just reflect, reset. Let go of anything that didn't go your way. Don't carry frustration into tomorrow. Say, I did my best today. I learned, I grew, Now I'm ready for a fresh start. Winners don't let mistakes weigh them down. They use them to lift themselves up. Before you sleep, set your intention for the next day. Say to yourself, tomorrow I wake up focused. Tomorrow I take action. Tomorrow I move one step closer to my goals. Your subconscious mind is powerful. It takes what you feed it and works on it while you sleep. So give it something productive to work on. Most people go to bed scrolling through negativity, filling their minds with distractions. Then they wonder why they wake up tired, unmotivated, and stuck in the same pattern. But those who take control of their nights take control of their lives. Tonight, before you sleep, take 5 minutes. Review your day, reflect on what you learned, reset your mind, and watch how, little by little, this one habit transforms everything. Because success isn't just about working hard during the day, it's about conditioning your mind every night to think, grow, and prepare for more. And when you do that, success is inevitable.